welcome back to another video. In this one we are going to be restyling the lounge. I literally started afresh in this room with restyling it, so I'm going to share loads of tips with you throughout this, and stay to the end because I will be sharing a bonus tip that I don't think you hear very often, to be fair. So yeah, let's get into it.
So tip number one is to clear the deck. So clear everything off the shelves, off sideboards, any areas that you want to restyle, just clear it all away. By doing this, I feel like you can have a bit more of a play when you're sort of rearranging things, and hopefully come up with new ways to arrange stuff as well. When you're just sort of keeping things in situ and trying to rearrange it and stuff, it always kind of ends up looking a bit samey, I find. So yeah, clear the decks and start afresh. And then my next tip is to gather it all together. So this is tip number 2, gather it all together. So I took everything that I had and gathered it up in the studio so I could see exactly what I got. The reason I brought it up here as well is because I have got other homeware items in storage which are under my work table, so I could clearly see exactly what I had and what I had to play with. So tip number 3 is, now that we've got it all gathered together, is to pick out your favourite items. So these are going to be your sort of starting point, and then we need to add to that. We just need to make sure that these items are varied in height, size, shape and texture, and this will help you create visual interest when styling your shelf, sideboard, etc. So now that we've followed those 3 tips, I'm going to start styling. So with the bookcase, I wanted to do a curated collection of my blue and white stuff, which is obviously what I had up here before, but I just kind of want to pare it back. I think prior to this it was starting to get a little bit cluttered, shall we say. So yeah, if you've got like a collection of things that you like, so obviously I like blue and white stuff, but it could be that you like coloured glassware, which is another obsession of mine, or you like Moorcroft pottery or something like that. So you've got a collection of something that's got a similar theme running through it. You can use that to sort of style up some shelves, but you do want to make sure that you're kind of breaking it up as well. So with this, I've used a couple of books to raise up the lamp that's fitted on this shelf, and then I've used my collection of interior design books and then put them in colour order to break up another shelf, and then on the next shelf I've added some greenery. So that leads to tip number 4, add some greenery. Whether that's faux or live-in, although live-in is ideal as it provides health and well-being benefits. However, faux also has its place when lighting's not good or you are just a serial plant killer, then maybe stick with the faux. So this is it finished. So after finishing the curated collection on the bookcase, I then moved on to the shelves that sit above our TV. So with this, there was no curated collection with this, although there is a concerted effort to hide the chiselled out wall. So if you're new around here, we have done a full rewire in this house, well, almost full rewire, but unfortunately we just haven't got around to filling up these channels in the lounge, and I've got no intention of doing it anytime soon. We've got other things going on. So basically I'm using the pictures to disguise that, and that kind of leads me on to my next tip, which is tip number 5. So I'm using pictures to lean up against the wall or the back of the shelf, but you could also use trays, or you could use like vinyls or something like that as well, and it just kind of creates a bit more of a laid back feel, but also kind of adds a bit of layering to your display and just creates a bit of a visual interest as well. You did also see me do this with the bookcase styling, where I actually used the blue and white plates that I had and lent them up against the back of the bookcase as well. So then after styling the shelf, I moved on to our fireplace mantle. So my next tip number 6, which I'm sure you've heard many a times, especially if you have an interest in design or home styling, and that is to style in odd numbers. The reason for this is just that it's generally considered more visually appealing. Basically, it creates a central focus which then forces the eye to move around the display of items, whereas even numbers can appear too symmetrical and static and therefore lack in visual interest. So yeah, styling odd numbers. Tip number 7 is to leave negative space. You don't want to fill the whole shelf with decorative items, you want to leave blank areas. This just makes it look a lot less cluttered, and it also just gives the eye a place to rest. So my bonus tip, which you will have seen me do many times in this video, is to stand back, assess and rearrange if it's needed. If it doesn't look right, just rearrange it. It's not the end of the world, and you're just not going to get it right the first time, every time. Yeah, sometimes you might, but it is just trial and error. Just enjoy the process and allow time for it. I think even the pros will struggle to get it right first time, or even those that look like they've got a perfectly styled home all the time. Eventually you will get it looking just so. And here is the lounge, all now styled up and looking lovely. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below which one was your favourite tip, and also don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video.